Take a nostalgic journey back to F Troop, 1965 to 1967, and join us as we remember the 42 actors who have tragically passed away. Known for its unique blend of comedy and Western charm, F Troop captured the hearts of fans with its colorful characters and memorable moments. In this tribute, we honor the talented cast members who brought these characters to life, exploring their careers, personal stories, and the impact they had on television. Celebrate the legacy of F Troop as we reflect on the actors who helped make the show a beloved classic, and remember those we lost too soon. Forrest Tucker, who portrayed the shrewd and enterprising Sergeant Morgan O'Rourke in F Troop in 1965 at the age of 46, captivated audiences with his charm and wit. However, behind his charismatic on-screen persona, Forrest's personal life was anything but fulfilling. His first marriage to actress Joan Cromwell ended in divorce after a decade, and although he found love again with Diane J. Barrett, this second marriage was marked by strain and distance. Despite his 3 children, Forrest's family life was troubled, overshadowed by his struggles with alcohol and his deep sense of isolation. His battle with substance abuse, combined with the emotional toll of his failed relationships, left him a broken man, despite his success in television and film. After years of health issues, Forrest passed away on October 25, 1986, at the age of 67 from lung cancer, leaving behind a legacy that was as complex as the character he portrayed, one filled with both professional success and deep personal sorrow that never fully healed.
Not understand to make 'em unbreakable tomahawk, 90-moon guarantee.
Well, I don't know, but they're not moving. Now the blankets are fine. Everybody loves them, so we're going to need some more.
Larry Storch, who brought the lovable but bumbling Corporal Randolph Agarn to life in F Troop starting in 1965 at age 42, was adored for his comedic timing and devotion to his fellow soldiers. However, Larry's real life was marred by personal turmoil and heartache. His first marriage to actress Norma Storch ended in a painful divorce after 18 years, and despite remarrying, Larry's personal life was often plagued by feelings of loneliness and financial instability. He struggled with the pressures of being in the public eye, facing difficulties maintaining relationships and battling with his own inner demons. As he grew older, Larry was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, which compounded his already difficult life. Despite the challenges, he maintained a positive outlook until his death. Larry passed away on July 8, 2022, at the age of 99 due to complications from Alzheimer's disease, his passing marking the quiet end of a long and often challenging life.
Not go back, get feathers, blanket, join tribe.
This is Canada's government property.
Honest fun, Wild Eagle. Give us back the cannon. It's almost time for rev.
Melody Patterson, who began her role as the spirited Wrangler Jane in F Troop in 1965 at just 16, was known for her sharp wit and independent spirit. However, Melody's personal life was far from the adventurous character she played on screen. Her first marriage to actor Donald Nielsen ended in divorce, and although she remarried, she never found the happiness she sought in her relationships. As her career began to fade, Melody struggled with isolation and the pressures of living up to the fame she had achieved at a young age. She battled with a sense of loneliness and was often haunted by unrequited love, both in her personal life and in the public's memory of her. Despite her attempts to reinvent herself, the years brought further hardship. Melody passed away on August 20, 2015, at the age of 66 from multiple organ failure, her death marking a tragic end to a life that had been as filled with unfulfilled dreams as it had been with early promise.
Captain, I'd like to present to you Miss Jane Angelica Thrift. Annie, this is Captain Wilton Parment.
I'm happy to know you, Miss Thrift.
Shucks, you just call me Wrangler. Janie.
Ken Barry, who portrayed the well-meaning but clumsy Captain Wilton Parmenter on F Troop in 1965 at age 32, was beloved for his innocent charm and comedic heroism. Off-screen, however, Ken's personal life was filled with complications and heartache. His first marriage to actress Jackie Joseph ended in divorce, and his second marriage faced its own set of challenges. Ken struggled privately with depression and alcoholism, which often overshadowed his public image and caused strain in his relationships. Despite his enduring success in television, the personal fulfillment he sought always seemed elusive. Later in life, Ken's health began to deteriorate, and he passed away on December 1, 2018, at the age of 85 from heart complications. His portrayal of a lovable, clumsy captain stood in stark contrast to the personal battles that defined his final years, leaving behind a legacy of both joy and sorrow.
I fall down a lot. My father used to say that I had...
James Hampton, who portrayed the bumbling Hannibal Dobbs in F Troop, 1965, was 29 years old when he took on the role of the fort's clumsy bugler. His character was often a source of comedy, with his musical misadventures offering light-hearted moments throughout the series. Hannibal was a good-natured character, but it wasn't all laughs behind the scenes. Hampton's career was marked by personal heartache that many didn't see. Though his acting career included various roles, his personal life was a turbulent mix of love lost and struggles with his inner demons. His marriages, plagued by difficulty and disappointment, ended in divorce. Hampton was married twice but fathered no children, leading to an emotional void in his life that persisted. His career successes did little to mask the pain of his personal life. James fought with Parkinson's disease for years before his death on April 7, 2021, at the age of 84.
Retreat!
Captain, I can't play retreat yet.
Well, I thought you'd been taking lessons.
Well, I have. I learned to play Dixie.
Bob Steele, who portrayed the grizzled Trooper Duffy on F Troop, 1965, was 58 when he started playing the rugged veteran soldier with exaggerated tales of heroism. His character's gruff demeanor and storytelling skills were an integral part of the show's charm. But in reality, Steele's life was far from a series of adventures. His career had begun in the silent film era, and while he achieved success in westerns, his personal life was fraught with financial instability. Despite his career longevity, Steele was plagued by a string of failed relationships. His 2 marriages ended in divorce, leaving him without a family to call his own. Though he had 3 children from his first marriage, he was estranged from them in his later years. Bob's personal battles with alcoholism, compounded by his deteriorating health, made his final years a tragic period. He passed away from respiratory complications on December 21, 1988, at the age of 81.
And the barrel laminated and polished and refurbished.
Oh. Well, how long will that take?
I should think about a week, sir.
Here comes Colonel Donnelly, Sergeant!
Frank DeKova, best known for his role as Chief Wild Eagle on F Troop, 1965, played the cunning leader of the Heckawee tribe with a sharp wit that made him one of the show's most memorable characters. Starting the role at 55, DeKova's career had already seen significant ups and downs. His character's playful antics provided a comedic relief, but DeKova's own life was far from humorous. His marriages were marked by dissatisfaction, and he never found lasting happiness in his personal relationships. He had 1 son, but his family life was strained, leading to emotional isolation. Despite his later success on television, his personal life was overshadowed by financial troubles and health issues. Frank's later years were marked by deep depression, which impacted his ability to continue working. DeKova passed away from heart failure on October 15, 1981, at the age of 71.
What is powwow?
Oh, he's gonna be a lot of help.
A little respect, will you? He's old enough to be your father.
Him very old, Eastern boy, come from good family.
Don Diamond, who played Crazy Cat in F Troop, 1965, was 44 when he began portraying the lovable but naive assistant to Chief Wild Eagle. The character's innocent enthusiasm contrasted with the scheming nature of the other members of the Heckawee tribe, making him an endearing part of the show. But off-screen, Diamond's life was anything but simple. He had one of the most tumultuous personal lives of the F Troop cast. Married 3 times, Diamond struggled with maintaining stability in his relationships, with each marriage ending in divorce. He fathered 3 children, but his inability to foster a healthy family dynamic left him isolated and emotionally adrift. His later years were marked by financial difficulties and health struggles that weighed heavily on him. Despite his cheerful character on screen, Diamond was deeply unhappy in his personal life. He passed away on June 19, 2011, at the age of 90, due to heart failure.
24.
No, Braves complain their work lasts 3 weekends.
If we don't get them, we're going to lose the season. They make great gifts for Thanksgiving.
We not celebrate Thanksgiving.
John Mitchum, who portrayed Hoffenmuller in F Troop 1965, was 46 when he began the role. Hoffenmuller was a quirky character known for his broken English and comic charm, often adding humor to the show with his innocent attempts to communicate. Mitchum's career, however, never reached the heights of his brother Robert's. He often found himself in supporting roles, which left him feeling overshadowed. His personal life mirrored his professional struggles. Mitchum had 2 marriages, both of which ended in divorce, and he faced emotional hardship, including a strained relationship with his children. As his health declined following a stroke, Mitchum lived in relative isolation. He passed away on November 29, 2001, at the age of 82 due to complications from the stroke. His death marked the end of a life that had been marked by unrealized potential, personal turmoil, and a sense of fading recognition in both his career and family life.
I noticed that you speak Apache, Sioux, Cherokee, and Hikawi. Now, we can use you as an interpreter, just as soon as you learn to speak.
Benny Baker, who played the character of Pete in F Troop 1965, at the age of 58, brought a jovial and easygoing energy to the show, often playing the good-natured foil to the more serious characters. Despite his steady acting career, Baker never achieved the level of fame that he had hoped for. His life off-screen was filled with disappointment, with 2 failed marriages and a strained relationship with his children. Baker struggled with feelings of inadequacy and a sense that he had not lived up to his own expectations, both professionally and personally. As he aged, his health began to decline, and he found himself increasingly isolated. He died on September 20, 1994, at the age of 87 from natural causes. His death marked the end of a career that had offered some moments of warmth, but was overshadowed by personal regrets and a sense of unfulfilled potential, both in his career and his family life.
What you've done.
Butterfingers!
I'm sorry. Keep your hands off of me.
This one's on the house.
Wait a minute. I'll give it to him.
Harvey Perry, 65 when he joined F Troop 1965, portrayed Charlie, a dependable and physically strong character who was always ready to lend a hand. While Perry's character was reliable and courageous, his own life was filled with struggle. His career slowed in the years after F Troop, with fewer acting opportunities and mounting financial difficulties. Perry's personal life was similarly tumultuous. His marriage ended in divorce, and his relationship with his children was strained, adding to the emotional weight he carried. In his later years, Perry's health began to fail, and he faced increasing physical challenges. On September 18, 1985, Perry passed away at the age of 85 from a heart attack. His death marked the end of a life that had been defined by moments of strength and reliability on screen, but which in reality was filled with personal hardship, fading career opportunities, and emotional struggles.
Are you all right, Charlie?
Never felt better in my life. I got an awful lot to learn about running a saloon.
James Gregory, who portrayed Major Duncan in F Troop 1966, took on the role of the rigid, by-the-book military officer, a character whose strict discipline was often at odds with the fort's comical chaos. Starting the role at 55, Gregory was well established in his career but faced numerous personal struggles. Though his professional life flourished in the 1960s, Gregory's personal life was filled with difficulties. He was married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce. Without children to care for him in his later years, Gregory found himself increasingly isolated. His financial troubles mounted as his health began to decline, and he struggled to maintain the level of work he once had. As he aged, Gregory's life became overshadowed by loneliness, and he passed away on September 16, 2002, at the age of 90 from natural causes. A man who had portrayed a figure of authority on screen but had lived out his final years in quiet sadness and obscurity.
Satisfactory, Major. Our company cook, Private Smathers, isn't much, but he's all we have.
Oh, it's passable, Captain. Passable. Actually, it's better than anything I've had in the past few weeks.
Henry Gibson, who portrayed Private Rongo Starr in F Troop 1966, at 31, was known for his lovable clumsiness and charm, endearing him to viewers with his endearing mishaps. Despite his success on the show, Gibson's personal life was filled with sorrow. He struggled with mental health issues, battling depression and anxiety, which took a toll on his relationships. His first marriage ended in divorce, and his second marriage didn't fare much better. Gibson's emotional struggles, paired with his declining physical health, left him isolated and vulnerable. Diagnosed with cancer later in life, Gibson faced his illness largely alone, unable to overcome the personal demons that had plagued him for years. He passed away on September 14, 2009, at the age of 73 from cancer, a painful end to a life that had once been filled with laughter, but which had been overshadowed by emotional and physical pain.
Well, Rongo, I am Sergeant O'Rourke, and this here is Corporal Agard.
Oh, hi, fellas.
Charles Seel, who played the sage and often humorous character of Abijah Mims in F Troop 1965, began his role at 68, bringing wisdom and comic relief to the show. Off-screen, Seel's life was far less stable than the character he portrayed. He married, but like many of his peers, his marriage ended in divorce. With no children to support him in his old age, Seel faced the difficulties of growing older without the companionship of a family. His acting career dwindled in the years following F Troop, and he struggled with financial hardships and a sense of isolation. As his health began to deteriorate, Seel found himself alone, with little to show for his years in Hollywood beyond his role on the show. He passed away on April 19, 1980, at the age of 82, from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of wisdom and humor but little support in his final years.
Wow, you sure have a gorgeous voice there, boy.
Well, thank you. Who are you?
Mims, two M's. Abijah Mims, ma'am.
Thank you.
Patrice Wymore, who portrayed the refined and charming Laura Lee on F Troop in 1965 at the age of 39, was known for her elegance and quick wit, which brought an air of sophistication to the comedic show. Laura Lee's character often showcased grace under pressure, managing the antics of Fort Courage with poise. However, Wymore's personal life told a much sadder story. She married the iconic actor Errol Flynn in 1950, but their marriage was filled with hardship. Flynn's notorious reputation for alcohol abuse, infidelities, and unpredictable behavior created a turbulent home life, and they divorced in 1960. Wymore was left to raise their daughter, and her career, though notable, faded as she aged. The fame she once enjoyed dwindled, and in her later years, she struggled with her health, ultimately succumbing to pulmonary disease. Patrice Wymore passed away on March 22, 2014, at the age of 87, her legacy tarnished by the emotional toll of her troubled marriage and the gradual fading of her career.
I certainly want to thank you for all you've done for the men and for Dobbs and me, but if you'll pardon a personal question, ma'am, why did you do it?
Well, Captain, as soon as I read the letter, I knew
John Stevenson, who played the overconfident and flamboyant General Custer on F Troop starting in 1965 at the age of 42, became known for his bombastic portrayal of the historical figure. While his character's bravado added comedic flair to the show, Stevenson's personal life was far less dramatic. His acting career, though solid, slowly declined as he aged, with fewer significant roles in his later years. He faced a troubled personal life, having been married multiple times, but these relationships were often strained and ended in divorce. In his later years, Stevenson's health deteriorated, and he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, which robbed him of his memories and sense of self. The once vibrant actor passed away on May 15, 2015, at the age of 91, his final years marked by the slow and heartbreaking effects of the disease. The promise of his youth, filled with comedic potential, was overshadowed by the gradual loss of his mental faculties.
I still find it hard to believe that you completed the course in military strategy in less than 2 weeks.
Well, it never would have been possible, sir, if I hadn't had you for an inspiration.
The credit belongs to you, Parmenter. I hope to...
Bartlett Robinson, who played the distinguished Colonel Griswold on F Troop in 1965 at age 53, was known for his composed, authoritative presence on screen. Off-screen, however, Robinson's life was much more fraught with personal struggles. Though his career was respected and he enjoyed a steady stream of roles, his personal life was marked by loneliness and emotional distance. His marriage was fraught with difficulties, and his inability to connect emotionally with his family took its toll on his well-being. In his later years, Robinson faced a battle with cancer that diminished his health and left him increasingly isolated. His career and his family life both suffered under the weight of his personal struggles. Bartlett Robinson passed away on March 26, 1986, at age 73 from cancer. His death came after a life filled with quiet pain, marked by a deep personal sadness and the physical toll of the disease, making his passing a somber end to his journey. Forrest Lewis, at 66, joined F Troop in 1965 as Doc Emmett, a wise, nurturing figure offering medical assistance and sage advice to the soldiers around him. His portrayal of a compassionate and knowledgeable character made him a beloved part of the show, though his own life was far from a picture of harmony. Despite his established career, Lewis faced numerous professional and personal struggles, often relegated to supporting roles, never able to break into leading parts. His personal life was riddled with pain as well, having experienced a tumultuous marriage with actress Lillian Miles, which ended in divorce after 15 years due to growing emotional disconnection and mutual dissatisfaction. Lewis had one daughter, Emily, but his relationship with her was strained as she pursued her own career far from his shadow. As his health began to decline, he struggled with heart problems, eventually succumbing to a heart attack on June 2, 1977, at 77.
All right, now, open up his mouth. Oh, here, show him your teeth. Yeah. Yeah.
Marjorie Bennett, who played the nurturing Ella Voorhees in F Troop, 1966, brought warmth and maternal kindness to the series. Beginning the role at the age of 70, Bennett's character was beloved for her ability to provide comfort and wisdom to the other characters. However, Bennett's own life was far from a comforting tale. Her marriage to actor and director Thomas H. Ince was marred by infidelity, emotional neglect, and personal differences, and the couple eventually divorced after only 8 years. Despite having one son, Robert, the relationship was strained, and he moved away after becoming estranged from his mother. Bennett's career, which had once been filled with promise, began to fade in her later years, and she struggled with feelings of loneliness and isolation. Her declining health took a toll on her, and after a lengthy battle with cancer, she passed away on June 14, 1982, at the age of 86.
My kid brother, I'm Morgan O'Rourke. You must remember me.
They said Morton. Oh, you're the little bounder that put the frog in my teapot.
Willard Waterman, who portrayed Bill McCormick in F Troop in 1966 at the age of 52, became known for his calm, reliable, and resourceful character. McCormick's steady demeanor made him a grounding presence within the chaotic and comedic atmosphere of the show. Waterman's career, however, was not as smooth as his character's personality. He had a long career but was often typecast into secondary roles, never reaching the level of fame he had hoped for. His personal life was marked by tragedy, especially the severe toll on his family when his daughter, Carol, was paralyzed in a car accident. This heartbreaking event strained his marriage to Jean, which eventually ended after 35 years. Waterman's own health was slowly deteriorating due to bone marrow disease, and he passed away on February 2, 1995, at the age of 80. Though he lived a full life, his final years were marked by the immense emotional weight of personal loss and an unfulfilled career.
We put grease in your saddle and you slid off the horse in front of the Inspector General.
Nydia Westman, who portrayed Mama Dobbs in F Troop in 1965 at the age of 63, was beloved for her nurturing and warm character. Mama Dobbs' gentle and maternal nature made her a favorite among fans, but Westman's own life was fraught with personal sorrow. She had a turbulent marriage with actor Leonard Arf Castle, which became strained over time. Despite having 2 children, Westman's role as the primary caregiver took its toll on her, particularly as she had to care for her ailing husband. Her family life was marked by emotional exhaustion, and the stress of caring for a sick partner and balancing her own needs wore heavily on her. In her final years, she was diagnosed with cancer, which contributed to her rapid health decline. She passed away on May 23, 1970, at the age of 68. Westman's death was a painful conclusion to a life filled with personal sacrifice and struggle, leaving behind a legacy of love and care despite her own hardships.
Tell the truth, I didn't know my soldier boy.
Vic Tayback, who portrayed Bill Colton in F Troop in 1965 at the age of 35, was known for his strong, rugged persona, yet his personal life was fraught with difficulties. His marriage to Kathy Wilkins ended in divorce, and the emotional toll of the separation weighed heavily on him. His son, Michael, struggled with emotional problems, which compounded the strain on their relationship. In 1985, Tayback's world was shattered when his son tragically took his own life. This profound loss sent Tayback into a deep emotional spiral, affecting both his career and health. Despite finding success in his later years, especially with his role in Alice, Tayback's life was defined by the haunting grief of losing his child. His health began to deteriorate due to stress and alcohol abuse, and he passed away on May 25, 1990, at the age of 60 from a heart attack. His death was the heartbreaking culmination of years of personal anguish, and his passing marked the end of a life overshadowed by the devastation of loss.
That stagecoach will be here any minute, Bob. Let's put on the masks.
Right, Bill?
J. Pat O'Malley, who played the mystical medicine man in F Troop 1965, brought an aura of wisdom and mystery to the show, a stark contrast to the antics of the other characters. Starting his role at the age of 61, O'Malley's career had already spanned decades, yet his personal life was fraught with tragedy. He married once, but the relationship ended in divorce, and he had no children to care for him as he grew older. As he aged, O'Malley's health deteriorated, and his career slowed down. Despite his illustrious career, O'Malley faced the solitude that often accompanies old age, especially without a family to rely on. In his final years, his physical condition worsened, and he was left to cope with his declining health on his own. O'Malley passed away on February 27, 1985, at the age of 80 from natural causes, a quiet and lonely end for a man who had once captivated audiences with his charm and mystique, but whose final years were marked by solitude. Barry Kelly, who played the general in F Troop beginning in 1965 at the age of 57, was known for his commanding presence and strict military demeanor. The general's stern leadership served as a foil to the chaos around him, but Kelly's own life was full of chaos and sorrow. Although he had a steady career, his personal life was marred by an overwhelming tragedy. His son, Paul, tragically took his own life in 1975, an event that shattered Kelly and led to the collapse of his marriage to Dorothy Young. This profound loss was a heavy blow to the actor, and his career never truly recovered as he struggled with grief and emotional turmoil. Barry Kelly's later years were plagued by declining health, and he died on June 5, 1991, at the age of 82 from natural causes. The weight of his personal tragedies haunted him until the end, and his death was a tragic end to a life full of grief and unhealed wounds. Jackie Loughery, who played Tanya in F Troop in 1966 at the age of 36, brought vivacity and charm to her role, but her personal life was marred by deep tragedy. Her first marriage to businessman Thomas Davidson ended in divorce due to infidelity, leaving her emotionally shattered. Her second marriage to actor Charles Sutherland was even more tumultuous, marked by both physical and emotional abuse. However, the most devastating tragedy occurred when her son, Andrew, died in a car accident in 1980. The grief from this loss was compounded by the death of her daughter, Elizabeth, in 1995, sending Loughery into a spiral of despair. Despite these painful events, her career never fully recovered, and she withdrew from the public eye. Jackie Loughery passed away on February 23, 2024, at the age of 93, after spending her final years away from the limelight, her personal tragedies having left deep scars that overshadowed her once promising career. Who is your favorite character in F Troop? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.